What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. Today's video, we are getting completely caught up on everything that is going on with the Ultimates. This will cover issues 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. This is going to bring us up to date on everything that has been happening in the Ultimate Universe surrounding our new team. The story last leaving us off with the Ultimates' defeat, Tony Stark being taken out of the equation, and with Tony down for the count, everybody now looks to Captain America. Tony may have been the one to bring them together, but now that he's gone, Captain America is the obvious choice. But after what happened to Tony Stark, everybody has to kind of take their own path for a little bit. It's the calm before the storm, because war is on the horizon. Thor is headed back to deal with his brother. We see the birth of new heroes like Luke Cage. The days are counting down. It is only a matter of time before the Maker returns. Our heroes must be ready. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we jump into this first issue, we have Captain America, Human Torch, Steve, and Jim. They're sitting down, having a beer at an old place that Steve used to come with Bucky. More than anybody, Steve and Jim can really connect with one another. And this is because they both grew up, or at least understand the same time era. They're around the same age. They remember what New York used to be like. They remember it before 1963. But the two of them sit down, they have a beer, and they have a conversation about what's coming. They both know where this is all going. War is coming. A fire is going to grow. They've been through this before, and they've seen how the others were so shaken after what happened to Tony. They're not used to losing people. Jim doesn't think they're ready for it. They both know that they gotta get these guys ready. They wish that they didn't have to go down this path, but this was always inevitable. This is what takes us over to Janet and Hank. Today is the Memorial Day, the Stark Tower Memorial. Rumors have been circulating about a planned anniversary attack from the Ultimates terrorist network. This is the propaganda that is being spewed out by the media. And so the people are terrified of the Ultimates. They see how much resentment there is. Of course, it's all due to propaganda. Hank thought it would be a good idea to come out here, especially after what happened to Tony. After Jane almost died, Hank is having a real hard time dealing with the war that they're waging, because innocent people are dying, whether that be directly or indirectly, and it's eating away at both of them. This is what takes us to our Hawkeye, dealing with all of this in his own way. He's out here in costume, taking down weapons facilities, weapons that are bound for the upper and lower kingdoms, because there is a war going on down there, a secret war. Hawkeye is preventing these weapons from ever making it to their mark, while America, on the other hand, she's out here breaking up what were protests, and it appears that the guards or the police or whoever these guys may be, they start attacking the innocent. They attack the unarmed. They attack the protesters. And so America comes down and she melts these guys into their suits. Not so much to hurt them, but enough to prevent them from being able to move. While America protects the innocent, we pick up with Thor and Sif. There's a lot going on right now, but there's also 9 realms. They are going to deliver to All-Father Loki, Master of Chaos, a taste of his own medicine. They are going to raise armies. They are going to fight. They are going to rebel, because the Asgardian rebellion begins today. Meanwhile, we pick up with Doom and we pick up with She-Hulk. She-Hulk wants to be sent back. She wants to go take down the Hulk, fearing for her people, fearing what could happen to them. But Doom simply lets her know that it's not an option, that the best we could do is help you see your people, let you know that they are safe. But if we let you go down there, they discover who we are, where we are, what we're doing, what we're planning. Doom is letting She-Hulk know that they must continue on, that they owe it to him, that they owe it to all of them. As they walk over to a vat, we see inside Tony Stark, alive but barely. 11 months remain until the return of the Maker. This is what takes us over to issue number 8. We pick up with the Ultimates traveling to a location that they're expecting some company, using a tachyon detection array. This allows them to see if anybody's coming in. Someone is using a time machine, and while they stand in this cornfield and they look around for anything that might happen, in the blink of an eye, we see a ship come crashing in almost directly on top of them. And coming out of this ship is the Guardians of the Galaxy, the greatest heroes of the 61st century. And what they are telling us is that they are here for America, that she is one of the Guardians. But America looks at them and she has no idea who they are. When Captain America comes to step in and tell them to back off, that they're being a little bit aggressive, they attack Captain America, and this is when things get heated very quickly. This Guardians of the Galaxy team made up of Star-Lord, Master of the Solar System, Lord of the 12 Houses, and the Land Beyond the Sun. There is Ultimate Nullifier, and of course there is Cosmo Starstalker, the one who stayed behind to protect humanity after all other canines ascended to a higher state of being, what some would call the ultimate good boy. And of course, last but not least, there is Captain Marvel. And while Captain Marvel tries to explain, you have to remember us, all America is thinking right now is, you're attacking my friends. Trying to show America the truth, they have Cosmo tap into her mind, try to unburden her and show her the truth, but what she sees is that somebody has cut open her mind again and again, like performing brain surgery with a rusty saw. They amputated her past. This is where America charges up and she unleashes her energy, unleashing this energy on everybody. The Ultimates stand up and Captain America tells Cosmo, I've never kicked a dog before, but after what you did, I'm highly considering it. Now, Cosmo does apologize. They have a more liberal idea of psychic consent, at least where they come from, especially between Guardians. And it goes against his every principle to pry into minds uninvited. But all of the Ultimates' minds are practically screaming it. They have all been having the same bad dream. The Ultimates defeated, dead on the ground, all at the hands of the Hulk. Now, this is where Captain Marvel grabs hold of America, and she tells her, they took your memories, I will show you mine. And this is where we see America and Captain Marvel. They were together. Not only were they battling the world together, battling the universe, but the two of them had become lovers along the way. In the 61st century, a post-scarcity, post-imperialist paradise, 250,000 super guardians protecting over 400 million inhabited worlds. The apogee of an unbroken age of heroes going back 4,000 years. The Guardians of the Galaxy saved the universe on a monthly basis for a millennia. Captain Universe was the first one to notice. It presented itself as a sharp pain in his chest, crushing grief radiating from the 21st century all the way down his arm. A group of their most experienced guardians. They were sent to the past to investigate, and only one of them returned. With his dying breath, he said, the Unmaker, we were unmade. And so the greatest minds of the galaxy convened. Mentor 137, the Parliament of World Minds, the Human Supreme Intelligence, the Internal Unimind. The goal was to try and save everything, an almost impossible challenge. Creation itself was racing to erase itself, to erase them. So they did the impossible. They turned the entire 61st century into an arc, into a century ship. They piloted all 100 years, all of their unraveling reality, right into the superflow, the informational space between universes. They escaped creation, but creation followed them. They found an army stationed just outside of time, led by a mad, brilliant conqueror. And while the rest of them fought to protect their fragile century, their most powerful members, Captain Universe, Starbrand, Molecule Boy, the Phoenix, and even Gary, wielder of the Infinity Gauntlets. They all struggled to maintain the integrity of the ship, one that has no past or future. It was an impossible challenge even for them. The 61st century falling apart around them. They pointed their ship back the way they came, into whatever reality had to replace theirs with. They hoped for a soft landing. Countless dying on impact. 100 years splintered like cheap wood. A tragedy on a biblical proportion. But few Guardians survived. Thrown faster than light through time in every direction, America landed here. That is because there is a 62-year span of hard time from 1963 to 2024, impenetrable even to the Guardians. This is the origin of the temporal anomaly that unmade their universe. Somehow, America landed inside of it. But Captain America's goal is to rescue everybody, to find a way to break the barrier and undo the Unmaker's work, restoring the right future and saving everybody. But this begs the question that if we do this, wouldn't that erase all of us? Erase our world? Our Star-Lord lets us know that there are ways around this. They have methods of timeline pruning and replanting. Given time, they would be able to save everybody. So when proposed with this, America says, no, that I can't do it. That all those memories you have, those are great, beautiful memories. But America says they're not hers. They don't belong to her. That she believes Captain Marvel loves her, but America doesn't know her. She doesn't remember everything, but she remembers that she is part of something important here. She has committed herself to saving the future this way. The Maker comes out of the city in 10 months. She plans to be ready. Captain Marvel tries to tell her, tries to let her know that they've been to the future. They've seen it with their own eyes. America loses. She says the Unmaker wins. Now this is interesting because it doesn't appear that they have a full grasp of what happens. They sent some Guardians back and they came back with bits of information. We saw how it all unfolded. We know that the Maker is the real problem, but the Guardians right now, they think the Unmaker is at fault for everything. They are unaware of the bigger game that is being played. It's also something that nobody's picking up on. The Guardians of the Galaxy have said the Unmaker multiple times. America mentions the Maker, but nobody corrects each other. Nobody says, what do you mean the Unmaker? We're talking about the Maker, or vice versa. Now this is something that can easily be overlooked with everything that is currently going on, but I think that this is going to matter as it moves forward. The Guardians of the Galaxy ultimately accepting that America is going to stay here. They must go out and continue to find any Guardians that are remaining in time. They bid her good luck, but they do not envy her. They have seen this world's future. It is all impossible choices and tragic outcomes. 10 months until the Maker returns. This is what takes us to issue number 9, the origins of Luke Cage. Alright guys, so as we dive into this next issue, we're picking up in February of 2005, Seagate Penitentiary. Luke Cage is facing 1 year to life. A 15-year-old kid. The truth is, Luke Cage has no idea what he is even being convicted of. His lawyer has no idea what he's being convicted of. He's told that this was an administrative trial. They assumed that he would be out of here in no time. But when we pick up 20 years later, Luke Cage, a grown man, he's still here. We have to assume that this is at the hands of the Maker, ensuring that Luke Cage could never become the hero he is meant to be. They threw him into prison at 15 years old, and they threw away the key. And this is where we get small glimpses of Luke Cage throughout the years. His first year in prison, he dealt with the beatings. He dealt with the cruelty. He was small then. He knew he needed to get bigger. He knew he needed to get stronger. That's exactly what he did. By 2010, Luke Cage was jacked, but he was more than that. Not only was he strengthening his body, he was also strengthening his mind, reading all and any books that he could get his hands on. And he moved from prison to prison, place to place, beating after beating. That is until January 2024. This is the day that everything changed. This is the day that that box from Tony Stark arrived, having the ionic catalyst that will allow him to gain unbreakable skin and unbelievable strength, informing him of everything that has transpired and letting him know that together they will free the world. They tell Luke Cage that they stole your future, robbed you of your destiny. Here is your opportunity to take it back. This is what takes us to February 2025. A firing squad lining up Luke Cage. When they go to execute this prisoner, they see that the bullets ricochet off of him. He lets the guards know that he is taking over. Jumping back to June 2024, Iron Man showing up to Luke Cage, congratulating him on taking the prison and freeing himself, and welcoming him to the Ultimates. But telling him that we gotta get out of here, Luke Cage has different plans, believing that he can get more done on the inside. After everything that he has endured, he knows he can't be free until everybody is free. So Luke Cage has been getting himself transferred from one prison to another, and then doing an uprising from within. Luke Cage is breaking their prison system, and this will hop us over to issue number 10. This opens up with, I think, one of the most brutal but brilliant and awesome scenes that I've seen in a comic recently. We have Jim, aka the Human Torch, accessing a file, accessing the day that he watched Hitler burn alive, and at his hands. The story goes that Hitler killed himself. It was all very political, but the truth is, the Human Torch did it. When they asked how it felt killing Hitler, he says that his brain isn't the world's oldest computer, but it's pretty close. In the old days, he had to manually erase memories so that he wouldn't slow down and seize up under the weight of all of that history. He gave up his Medal of Honor. He gave up the memory of getting that Medal of Honor. He gave up the memory of good friends, good years, most memories of his brilliant father, Dr. Horton. Gave up the memory of being able to play piano. But the memory of killing Hitler, that memory he kept in full color, high definition. A memory he goes back to and plays over and over and over again. Captain America saying, all right, enough reminiscing about killing Nazis in the old days, because today we got some Nazis to handle. I also love that, like, the one thing everyone can agree on, killing Nazis is okay. Even Captain America out here like, all right, cool. Like, Jim, stop getting me excited thinking about killing Hitler. Like, we got some Nazis to go kill right now. Let's go. But we pick up in Castletown, a militarized civilian stronghold of secessionist groups self-designated as the Red Skulls. One of 23 such militia towns across the United States of America, the North American Union. The Red Skulls are a neo-Nazi movement inspired by Nazi super soldier Red Skull. The current Grand Skull, leader of the National Red Skull movements, lives here in Castletown. They're here on a mission. The Ultimates move in. A frontal assault was really ruled out. It was ruled out because children live here, and the Ultimates are not baby killers. So they had to come in on stealth. They had to be quiet. They had to move in the shadows. But as they get to Castle Alpha 1, their main target, this is where they lay it on thick. This is where they turn it up to 100. This is where the Ultimates kick some Nazi ass. While they battle, Jim can't help but remember battling alongside Captain America, alongside Bucky Barnes, alongside Namor. And when they get inside, they are all shook. What they see hanging on the wall is the body of Namor, hung up on the wall like a prize trophy. This is where they are greeted by the Grand Skull. At least 5 different men have held the position of Grand Skull. 4 of them died violently. The civilian identity of the current Grand Skull is unknown to the public. Captain America tells them that you need to get him down now. Now, Grand Skull isn't the one that took out Namor. They gave Namor's people the means to rise above him, to take him down through propaganda, through the means of the Maker. His own people took him out. Grand Skull making a mockery of all of this. The Ultimates are pissed. Captain America says, clear the room. This is where we see the Ultimates start laying down some mother-flippin' Nazis. Now, while all of this is going on, we see what they call one of the true believers. A jacked up mofo by the name of John Walker. A devoted follower of Red Skull's content for years. He came to the Grand Skull with a metal box, a message from Tony Stark, and a vial of super soldier serum. As he charges in on our heroes, Jim does not hesitate, and he fries this mother dude's face, bro. Just burns John Walker's face off. Even Captain America's like, Jesus Christ, Jim. Chill, bro. But as they turn their attention to the Grand Skull, Captain America knows that this is not Red Skull. Demanding a take off his helmet, they're able to chip it just enough that the eye is visible. As we see him teleported out of here, the Grand Skull says that it was good to see you, Steve, as they lay Namor down to rest in the sea, giving him the proper burial that he deserved. Captain America and Jim, they're both thinking about that confrontation with Grand Skull. His voice became enough recognizable for Jim to be able to analyze it. A 90% match of a voice. Something that Captain America already figured out. Grand Skull is Bucky Barnes. 8 months remaining until the Maker. This is what takes us into issue number 11. We pick up with the battle against All-Father Loki. We have Thor, Thunderlord, Hammer Holder, Lightning-Tongued, head encompassing every storm, and by his side, Sharp Tiff Sif, Sword Goddess, Warden, War Woman, whose fleet feet forever failed to meet the floor. They start at the home of the dwarves, once a race of carefree craftsmen, all bosses, artisans, solitary self-starters, now work under a factory-type setting. Sticking to the shadows, our heroes put in a special order, 2 cloaks to render them invisible. This is where we see All-Father Loki, fat and gluttonous, Odin's head still on a spike. The cloaks were crucial, for he had spies and eyes of all colors, shapes, and sizes. Every night he would get drunk on dwarven-made poet mead, frost giants everywhere, Ice Army occupying Asgard. It was the same story everywhere, especially here at the origins of stories, Alfheim, land of light elves, source of creativity and divine inspiration. Everyone was under control. Everyone had a shackle around them, but they didn't always work in the shadows. Thor struck Jotunheim. His roar was war. He brought down the skies, realm of frost giants, Loki's core contingency, with hammer and lightning felling acres, massacring on mass scale, millions against one, but one, changing the very landscape after this battle. But all of this action was mere distraction, for while Loki returned back to Fatherland, Slaughterland, he left Asgard unguarded, as Loki dealt with distant Tiff, enslipped Sif. Mind decided on doom to All-Father's throne room, bringing brand new concepts to the decorum. A tomb, gods, giants, the dead, all fell before her knife. She came as a breaker of change, an agent of change. In Niflheim they hid, places of primordial darkness, and slowly but surely, the forces amassed. People joined in his fight. Loki, in his rage, he gathers his banners. He raises his army. They use their army of slaves, their army of the undead to try and fight. Thor's rebellion is in full effect. Now it is time that they make war. But Thor did do something rather different. He went up to have a meeting. He came to the Flame Lord. He met up with Surtur, and Thor told him to burn it all down. In present day, with Tony and Doom, Tony is now seeing this image of the Ultimates falling to the Hulk. Seeing this, he brings Doom into the room, and he tells him to explain 7 months until the Maker returns. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Without question, our rebellion is beginning. Our heroes are fighting back, whether it be in the 9 realms, whether it be on Earth. The battle is beginning. The forces are amassing. Our heroes are becoming what they need to be. The clock is ticking down and they only have a matter of time. The world needs more heroes. The Maker's work is being undone. The Unmaker did what he needed to do. While there are many things that can still threaten the outcome of what will be, they still might not be ready by the time the Maker returns. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you want to get caught up on everything that is going on with the Ultimate Universe, go ahead ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything that is going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you're unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.